dar início aí. Vou começar com uma cast. No caso der tempo, vamos fazer exploração. Continua com a exploração aí que já está terminando aí. E simbora. E eu tô com uma turminha de pequenininho aqui. E esse time que eu vou usar. E bora jogar o jogo. Eu vou dar início à cast do Sakumucho. E simbora, deixa eu ver aqui, bora se dar início, que eu tenho uma cast da Deus pra fazer ainda, da Rida. E simbora pra ver o que acontece. E quem é novo no canal aí, vai deixar aquele like maroto, que ajuda demais.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Vamos lá. Você sugestão sério, por favor. Eu não estou tentando escrever um suspense para si.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Deixa eu colocar uma capinha aqui, delícia aqui. Boa. Salvar. Foi salva a capinha. E eu vou entrar aqui no meu computador para ver o chat, né? Simbora.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensate. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Calou.
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma!
Tarazuma.
Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything. Great! Let's go find out what this
Beleza, bora curiar. Beleza. Missão nova aí pra nós ouvir.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're...
Hey, what's with that face? Don't...
No! This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kind of lacking.
Pera aí, deixa eu arrumadinho nas minhas costas aqui.
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you...
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to...
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Suna.
Hold on, Sawada.
Okay.
Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some record, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Destruí lá, matou o seu servo.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatara Suna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards...
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that even back then, Tatara Suna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin Art.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So, basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
E a sorte sua aí, homem. Pegar um espadão do Razor. Aqui tá dizendo.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
Pelo amor de Deus, das contas.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human, but a puppet.
Sim, uma marionete.
Puppet?
Está na cara. É a marionete da Shogun. Que é continente.
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Queria um catalisador, mas tá bom. Ei, a mulher pegou o espadão do Tito. A mulher deu tiro lá também, pegou o espadão do Tito. Aí deu um tiro só, velho. Pegou o espadão dele. Ih, caralho.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Nossa, mãe do céu. Não vou dar stream não. Isso aqui não vou ler não. Isso aqui não vou ler de jeito nenhum. Eu vou ler no finalzinho aqui. Desapareceu ninguém, sabia depois disso. Convocou um exército de homens para realizar uma busca. Começaram a forjar continuaram lá pela montanha, no entanto, eles não encontraram nada. Algumas pessoas, infelizmente, aconteceu incapaz de punir. Deve ser estranho. Passado, não sei o que, blá blá blá. Dele enfrentar nuvens escuras, blá blá blá. Figuras que desapareceram como relâmpagos. Lançou sua espada para arrancá-la das máscaras. Terminei a cast da Oranás e demorou muito. Tive que achar todos os Aranás. Ixi, nossa. A cast da Aranás é grande demais, velho. Eu tenho umas pra terminar ainda. Eu nem terminei todos ainda. Tem umas duas pra terminar lá. Tem as fotos ainda pra terminar. Tem um monte de coisa pra terminar ainda, velho.
Oh, and please read my
Mais outra história, velho. Tá doido, velho. Tá louco. Ah, eu vou ler muito isso aqui. Vou ler muito isso aqui. Vou ler o finalzinho. Quero ver o finalzinho. Que tem alguma coisa aqui falando. Caraca, bolacha. Queria pra dar uma maronete. É.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Falta monte de cash para fazer. É, as escondidas é foda também. Tem umas secretas lá. É só procurar, velho. É fácil de encontrar a secreta. Tem muita missão secreta. Cara, eu terminei de Nazuma. Uma secreta de Nazuma foi esse tempo agora. A dos fantasmas. Mas tô passando pra cá agora. Será que esse cara já escreveu um ensaio antes?
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get.
Consegui.
Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Sugerindo a esperança teremos que descobrir a verdade.
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more
Beleza. Bora vazar daqui. uma conversa longa sobre do saco murcho. É saco murcho.
Hey, so
Vou colocar o nome
that thing
dele
we're
saco
talking
murcho.
about, it has to
Deve
do with
ser
the
o
balladeer,
saco
doesn't
murcho,
it?
né? Com certeza.
Okay, then even if we did know, after all, we kicked his butt and got him locked
Vou
up.
colocar o nome dele saco murcho.
Information about people like that is usually super
Sabe,
confidential,
a
isn't it?
Paimon, ela vai. Não vou dar. Ah! Não conta não. Não conta não.
If you ask Paimon,
Não
Akaba
conta
should just
não.
pick
Tô
a different
querendo ver
topic.
ainda.
There must be as many
Sem
essay
spoiler.
topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Davi da floresta. Motivo para. Olha lá. Passou aí. O cara já passou aí já.
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
O cara tá andando de boa. O cara tá andando de boa.
The balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
É o saco murcho, velho. É o saco murcho. Eu vou colocar o nome dele saco murcho, sabe? Eu tô com o quartetinho de pequenininha. Cara, só falta Kiki pra mim, velho. Só falta Kiki pra mim. Vai ver, eu vou colocar o nome dele saco murcho. Cara, agora vai ser literalmente um textão vai rolar aqui, né? Do jeito. Que essa deusa gosta de conversar, viu, velho? Deus me livre. Conversar é pouco. Olha o rapazinho do lado.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public.
Acabamos de ver o saco murcho passando pela
Did he
frente de
escape
todos.
or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough. You're
Estamos
Hey!
aqui.
What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surastana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain.
Essa fase. Como assim você não conseguiu chegar aqui? Se deve ter muitas perguntas, por favor, deixe-me
It
explicar.
was my idea to set the
Tenho
balladeer
uma ideia
free.
de soltar o saco murcho,
We made a
devemos
deal,
ficar com
and he's gonna do some investigation
uma
in
investigação
Irminsul for me.
Isso.
Deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
Você confia mesmo nesse cara?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
Talvez me mata. Veja muita coisa aqui.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Não fez isso.
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Cara, se eu não tivesse com um olho no hiato, eu pegaria ele, sabe? Só que eu tô com minha visão no hiato ainda. A hiato vai vir na próxima e eu tenho que pegar ele. Eu tenho quase certeza que não tá indo. Claramente, eu acho também a mesma coisa também. Essa Paimon aí,
Well,
sabe?
that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal, even with the balladeer.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Uai. Manda aí. Pode mandar. Vamos ver sua teoria aí. A minha teoria também pode ser assim que ele desceu da estrela junto com o personagem principal, né? E ela é a parte da irmã dela. Ou ela pode ser até o boss final também, né? E eu penso assim, sabe? Que a irmã tá sendo controlada, né? Eu acho. O bom é que vai vir um anime dele, né? Está preparado? Manda. Vou mandar.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a
Estou
strategic
preparado,
threat
se
to
quiser
us.
mandar aí.
That puts him in quite a
Eu
precarious
vou ler.
position.
Enquanto eu estou continuando a história aqui. O poder de Solon foi completamente esvaziado após a batalha entre vocês, já que não é forte bastante para ser ameaças, né? Coloca uma posição muito precária.
Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a
Leandro, você
Harbinger
e o Rogue não jogou mais? Tu tava jogando bem amanhã. Saiu a atualização dele. Beleza, se quiser nós joga aí. Rapaz, não vai virar uma satânica. Satânica. Observa só, ela vai virar do mal. Sim, com certeza, pode ser, né?
I take no pleasure in saying this,
Vamos colocar
but
um vídeo lá até
it
interessante que ela
seems as
transforma um
if
boss
the
no
doctor
final lá.
had no intention
Mas
of welcoming
é,
back a
sabe, a
loser,
gente
so...
construiu uma fase lá. Fez um tox ali. Ficou legal demais nela. Eu vi no YouTube. No YouTube tem muita coisa assim que, sabe, assim, teorias, né? Teorias das conspiração. Ai, ai. E eu pensei que eu acho que ela tem uma parte da irmã dela lojada nela. Pode ser isso também. Ô Pitbull, qualquer hora aí se quiser jogar com o negócio lá comigo lá, é só chamar. Olha, era essa lolinha. Você confia muito? Não, confia não. Eu não confio no braço meu não, no programa não. É meio difícil confiar. É meio difícil confiar, velho. Se tivesse uma dose, eu daria uma dosada na casa dela, sossegasse embaixo dela.
Sometimes it's you
Ela
using
gente não
them,
conversar,
other
sabe?
times it's them
Ela
using
conversa
you.
sozinha, essa porra.
Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui,
Caramba, deixa eu ver.
and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be. Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear. Don't you? And they're your friends. So I guess you'll be siding with them.
Nossa comunicação. Beleza, beleza. Vou dar uma olhadinha depois lá. Amanhã nós jogamos aí se quiser. Marca um horário aí pra nós jogar aí. Fala assim, ó, tô lá no ROG lá, vai lá, vai jogar comigo lá. Aí eu entro no ROG. Beleza? Amanhã. Amanhã qualquer horário aí se você quiser ir jogar, nós joga lá. Saradona? Doma. Doma. Não sei ainda não.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time.
Umas 12h30 eu jogo de manhã. Eu tô no trabalho. Beleza. 12h30 da tarde, né? Umas 12h30. 12h30 da tarde ou da manhã de madrugada? Tá doido.
Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to pull.
All right. Then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now and keep in touch.
Mantenha contato.
Nahida, are you... Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
Principalmente para um benefício para mim?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Tarde? Ah, beleza. Ela tem uma queda pelo Duque. Ah, sim. Assim é o nome dela. Ah, entendi. A dona fica nostálgica. Ah, sim. A queda, ela caiu do chão. Pedido. Ai.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update
Então
on
tá,
that?
marcado então. 12h30 nós jogamos então. Mas aqui 12h30 aqui é calor pra caramba. Se estiver chovendo amanhã, aqui, sabe que quando eu mijo aqui, parece que eu mijo no porte, a energia vai embora, velho. É uma porcaria a energia aqui. A dona fica nostálgica. Ela está apaixonada pelo cara. Ixi. Foi engraçado, né? Tem muito personagem assim. Você encontra lá uma cidade de boa.
That the Fatui had not included your
Faz
twin's
parte dos
details in the
Fatuis, né?
Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I
Tem
don't know
outras
about.
informações que
And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better
eu
acquainted with this information than I am.
deles. Ele terá umas formas legais com essa informação porque
He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
E o Luke? O Luke você fala dos Fatuis? Ou dos mensageiros? Eu não sei os nomes deles, eu não gravei os nomes deles, dos caras tudo. Só alguns, porque eu sei lembro do Dottore, do Capitão. Acho ela bem fofa. Acaba com a live do Genshin. Bora jogar o ROG. A história do Genshin tá chata até demais.
The amount of information
Não,
in
essa
Irminsul
aqui eu
is
tava
vast
querendo
beyond
assistir essa
description.
aqui.
Sifting through all of
Esse
it
aqui é do
without
Saco
knowing
Murcho,
what to
velho.
look
Quero,
for
quero
would take
saber
too
que
long,
um pouquinho
even
da
for
história
you.
dele. É o Saco Murcho. Cara bravo.
So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information
Procurar
about the
aí
Descenders.
informações sobre
He's more familiar with this kind of
unidade de
information and
informação
should be able to find it
encontrada
more
mais
quickly.
rapidamente.
I understand.
But
sometimes everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
Hã? Como coisas sairão no futuro, dependendo das informações que ele vai trazer de volta. Eu sei que você, em seu coração, mais deseja.
Our minds have connected several times before. There's a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns.
Sim. Entendi então. E falando de cara, elemento fogo, eu tô doido de chegar o Arconte de fogo, velho. Eu quero saber o Arconte de fogo, velho. Porque vai vir de água agora, né? Depois vai vir, quando chegar Futane, né? Aí vai vir o Arconte de água. Depois vai vir o Arconte de fogo, velho. Eu quero saber com o Arconte de fogo. O Arconte de fogo deve ser bem apelativo, né? Sim. Escura, buscando por uma vela de cuja luz.
As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Pode dar umas respostas e os caras vai ter variado a pena.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it. I was still worried about this idea. I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind... Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Eu queria saber dessa história aqui, isso é interessante. A da Deus nem tanto assim, né, velho? Que eu nem desbloqueei ainda. Aí, o problema é que a história da Deus dizem que é muita conversa. É muita mais historinha pra você dormir.
It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Olha o saco no bucho aqui.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. this is as much for your own safety as... Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that.
Vai bom,
If
você não
there are
sabe
no
nada,
further
tá?
objections,
Quero.
I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure. Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
Pesquisar esse look aqui.
Wow! So this is the inside of Irminsul.
Look. Entendi.
Ooh, Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the...
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here. What are you smirking?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Tomá-los.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
Chegamos.
What a huge...
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint. The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
O Luke é um cara aquele que tem alimento de fogo. Sabe? Ah, sim, sim. Foi aqui, pesquisei aqui. É bom só piscando aqui. Vamos pensar que era mesmo.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with...
Will do.
Vou deixar.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do. Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Pra quê? Conversar com
We
nós?
can talk to each other inside our heads? That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once. Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen. As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Mandarei já tem uma skill da... Só falta colocar... Usar. Ai, ai.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today. Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else. Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Arc. Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that? If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from... Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone. So the Gase got it right? Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh?
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose, they are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths, some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Totara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
A sutileza dessa situação dele para mecânico vindo de Fontaine. Você tem certeza que...
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguise myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not
Já
see
mudou a
him
voz
as a
dele já.
person, but you told him
Tá na
yourself.
cara. É o
You're not
doutor.
a puppet.
Vai,
You're a
doutor viveu desse
human.
tanto de anos também.
You're just missing a
Isso é 400 anos atrás, né? É, ué.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by...
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the
Pode me
Doctor.
chamar de doutor. Eu não sabia.
Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure,
Então já tá
innocent
querendo fazer uma
puppet would
marionete
only
aí.
end up being used by someone else instead.
Não,
What
acho que
other
não conheceu
reason would a
não.
human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
Hã?
Conheceu sim.
Tá vendo? Ele tá falando aí, ó. Ele tá conversando aqui. Que ele sabe que tem uma historinha com a marionete. E ele tá falando. Esse doutor, ele tá falando com o cara aí. Que ó. Aquele que puro e inocente, marionete, apenas que acabaria sendo usado por outras pessoas. E ele tá falando, entendeu? Ele tá dando um motivo pra que ele fez isso, entendeu? Ele tá fazendo a marionete ficar furiosa com o mundo. É tipo isso, quer fazer um experimento.
Sim, vai.
Mas não conheceu não. Você tá falando que ele conheceu o doutor aí. Não. Você falou.
Não, eu falei doutor não.
Você falou sim, eu tô falando isso, eu tô falando isso.
Eu tô falando desse carinha aí.
Não, isso aí eu tô falando que ele.
Esse é o que tá cuidando do.
Eu sei.
E o doutor falou que vai pegar os canudos e fazer experimentos.
É, isso eu sei o que eu tô falando com você, cara de bunda.
É isso.
Tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a... Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
Ó, ele fala do bobo da corte aqui, ó. Bobo da corte, concluímos a missão que você me encarregou. Criar uma brecha e me infiltrar em funcionamento do Inazuma.
To you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
E se não for, vamos transformá-lo em pó.
Agora ele tá falando do saco murcho.
Mas é do que ele tá falando, gente.
Eu falei, não tô falando que você tá errado não, mulher. Não tô falando que você tá falando errado não. Eu tô falando assim, do saco murcho. Só falei isso. Eu falei isso. É do saco murcho. Eu falei isso não. Eu tô falando saco murcho. Entendeu? Só falei isso. Eu só falei isso. Eu não tô batendo no prego não, entendeu? Nem falei assim, tá falando do saco murcho. Agora eu falei assim, saco murcho. Só falei isso.
Dottore. Dottore.
Dottore. Ele tá puto agora.
Good.
Bom.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
Ele se transformou em um mecânico de Fontaine. Ele está por trás de um incidente de transformar.
But why do we see things from his
Coisa
perspective?
de perspectiva dele.
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd
Quando eu
eliminated
toquei
all
no
his
doutor
segments,
para
I
confirmar
read
que
this
ele
memory in his mind.
tinha eliminado
You have to
todos os
admit,
seus
it must be the
segmentos.
truth.
Olha, essa parte aqui, ó, que ela vê lá o Sakamushi lá. Para confirmar eliminar os seus segmentos. E eu li essa memória em mente que você tem admitido. Deve ser verdade.
Maybe
E na
so.
parte que ele
But it means
tava limpando. Talvez, mas isso quer dizer
Does
nada.
it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray
Mas
you.
essas memórias
He never meant for you to be the one to take the
traiu
device
você.
into the
Ele
furnace.
nunca quis que fosse você. Passeou depois de bater a fornalha.
You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Você sabe muito bem o que isso quer dizer, mas bateu porque que essa traição foi uma mentira. Ele gritou por centenas de anos. Isso foi parte do experimento do doutor? Com certeza. Se a traição nunca aconteceu, ela existia apenas na imaginação dele. Mas onde isso eu deixo?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now. We need to give him some time to process his emotions. Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up? Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants."
E ele disse que uma coisa que você procura, ele tirou direto do peito dos seus servos inocentes dele.
The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device
Removeu o
as he
coração,
spoke.
murchou o dispositivo enquanto ele
The
falava.
balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
No chão e deixou sem olhar para trás.
Holy moly! So the
Enquanto
doctor
todo
killed
ma
an innocent man
matou um
and
homem
pinned
inocente
everything
e
on the
colocou
victim?
toda a culpa na
That's
vítima.
terrible!
Isso é horrível. Se tratando do abandono de uma amiga próxima, certamente causará um grande. Agora sabemos que estava atrás. Mas isso não significa uma vingança, foi uma decisão correta.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new
Ele só
path forward.
poderá tomar um novo caminho em direção ao futuro, caso eu entenda isso. O mistério
Dottori, you
pelas
brazen-faced...
Dottori,
Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Você matou. Vou dar uma volta aqui. Ai. Um pouco depois.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat. Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Com mãos vazias? Era de se esperar. Ainda assim, obrigado.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset.
Estou muito chateado.
Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other
Foi
info that might
beco sem
interest
saída.
you.
Acho que posso compartilhar outras informações que possam interessar vocês.
About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul, it might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world.
Foi o meu primeiro destino quando eu cheguei a esse
Plus,
mundo.
She only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
A esse mundo porque os céus responderam quando
The
invocados.
heavens respond?
The jester told me this himself.
O
You can
próprio
take his
bobo
word
da
on this.
corte,
He was a royal
ele
mage in
conta todos.
Conria and lived with your sister
Você
for a time.
tem que acreditar na palavra dele. Quanto a isso, ele era um mago real que vivia com sua irmã. Que fala o bobo da corte de
I
novo.
don't know the details. It's up to
Não sei
you whether
detalhe,
you want to
acabei que
believe me.
vocês acreditarem
All I
em
can
mim.
say is,
Tudo que
I
eu posso
wouldn't lie to
dizer
you
é
about this.
que não há mentiras para vocês sobre isso.
Did you get all that, Lesser
Você
Lord
capturou
Kusanali?
tudo isso lá, né?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission?
Essas
It wasn't from
informações
Irminsul,
contra
but was it valuable?
para minha missão não veio de, mas foi valiosa.
Very valuable.
Muito
Good.
valiosa.
In that case, I'll
Nesse
take some
caso,
time
eu
for
vou-
myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long.
Mesmo que eu use todo o poder divino restante de mim, que eu não posso sustentar esse risco.
I shared a secret with you, and now you owe
Eu
me.
compartilhei
So in
segredo
return, I'd like you to answer
que
a
você
question for me.
agora, se você me deve, você me deve, né? Então você respondesse uma pergunta para mim. O que será?
Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you.
Tá vendo? Ele consegue trocar a palavra com o pensamento
So
também.
tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold him.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me.
Se olhar, ele
So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here
não
quickly.
conseguirei.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
Será que mudou o destino dele? Aí pegou
From this day forth, the names
Desde
Balladeer
diante,
and
meu
Kabuki
nome
Mono will cease to
Sakamoto
exist.
deixarão de existir.
Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me
Aqueles que
deserve another
morreram
chance at life.
por minha causa merecem uma nova chance de vida.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and...
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's... Oh, can you hear me? Nahida! Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power. It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out! I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his ability? Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep it up. Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here. Even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible. And we're at, an inn or something? This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but... An emergency? Don't worry. Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think? He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already in real life! It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would Ooh. Huh? Sorry, Paimon accidentally... But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable! Is that really possible in Irminsul? There's no way... There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so how about alright, Paimon will start. First, Andrean chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme. What was Paimon talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name though. What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
O cara mudou o destino dele. Caraca, velho. O cara fez merda, né?
It's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline.
And for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that they learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
That, my friends, is a... In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent-up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from... On to the next stop. Lead the way, Trap.
Tem papel, gente?
Escolhi ele. Morri agora. Morri. Capou ainda?
Não, caiu aí.
Tá vivo? Não, você tá vendo ele?
Isso. Tá bom.
Vai doido. Ai, ai.
We're here! This is the Yashiro Commission.
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until...
What do you think? Shall we go in?
O gato. Ele tá na onde o barulho desse? Foi na pedra?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commission...
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say? Of course, traveler. Yet, what would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending up. As for the Commissioner himself, well...
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing, Miss Kami-san. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers. They say it's because Toma's a much better chef than most. Oh, the commissioners, they get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together, and it's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, so in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come.
Of course.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going? Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe trip.
Antes de ir, eu vou no túmulo do irmão, do amigo do Kazuha. O túmulo do amigo de Kazuha fica pra cá, né? Porque como ele morreu com a trágica briga com a deusa, lá que ele voltou dos túmulos.
E hoje é o turno dele.
É, fica aqui, ó. Tem uma bifurcação, assim, uma gruta. Ela fica por aqui assim. Pra cá. É só descendo aqui, você vai encontrar ela. Ela fica aqui assim, ó. Onde tá aquela marcação ali no minimapa meu. E é aqui, ó. Cadê a espada? Ah, não, acho que eu tenho que subir mais. É, a espada aqui, ó. O trovão sincero no corpo de osso, que ambos encontram e descansam na terra. É. Esse aqui, ó, que é a espada do amigo do Kazuha. Então o amigo de Kazuha morreu ainda. Tá morto. Eu sabia da fornalha que era aqui mesmo. Então o rapazinho viveu aqui, né? Ah, essa aí.
E o doutor ele pegou ele pra ser cobaia da fornalha.
Uhum.
La la la.
E foram vários testes, né?
Well, here we are. But
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler in pipe?
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There,
Se
that's
você não
me.
tivesse
So what about you
essa
two?
missão dele aí, moço, você daria ter fazendo ainda, né?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too.
Não sou o primeiro técnico de Fontaine que vem a trabalhar nisso. Então esse cara de Fontaine. Aham.
Ah, é a roupinha também.
Diferente, né? Também havia sujeito na época.
They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Que colaboração tecnológica entre nossas duas nações vem atrás.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where to...
Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's... Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you. Come on, you gotta keep it together. Why don't you grab something to eat? You can't go facing... Alright, let's head off and go...
Ayato, Ayato. Tomara que sua irmã não vem na 3.4. 3.4 vai dar ano que vem. 3.4 é ano que vem, amor. 3.4 é ano que vem. 3.4.
Foi no ganho,
não? Hã?
Na prefeitura não deu.
Ah, sim, eu tenho de lá. Eu acho que. E mesmo fui lá e não perguntei, né, velho? Nossa, velho, fui lá. É aqui em cima, né?
Embaixo não foi. Não é assim.
Olha lá.
Hey, it's them.
É ele de novo.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are.
We have time. What do you want to...
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
O artigo que você me deixou ler da última vez. Está ótimo.
Oh, of course.
É claro. Vamos ver se tem marionete aqui. Eu lembro que tinha uma marionete aqui no outro aqui. Ó, mudou a história. A maioria dos rumores que giraram em torno são tão... Nossa, velho, esse aqui tudo? 3 tem tudo não, né? Ah, só mudou aqui. Características da história populares de Inazuma, exceto pela parte que menciona um estrangeiro que é necessário enfatizar aqui que o parecimento de uma pessoa supostamente real em um conto folclórico que é algo muito suspeito. Isso foi usado como pretexto para continuar as investigações até seguindo informações blá 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 o certeza obtida certeza às vezes um mecanismo estrangeiro foi invitado. Dizia que ele veio para fazer um intercâmbio tecnológico e fazer amizade com o povo local. Blá blá blá, blá blá blá, blá blá blá, blá blá blá. O mecanismo estava sempre encerrado de uma forma completamente como se estivesse verificado com seu estado conjugado pela época. Esse intercâmbio tecnológico como fator do estrangeiro seres recebido em proposta. No entanto, não foi muito tempo depois desse intercâmbio tecnológico realizou de região entrou em cadência. A evolução, nossa pessoa daquela época. Eu acredito, apesar de extrema investigação do doutor, foi possível descobrir uma origem dessa forma. No entanto, após o acidente ocorrido em Teresmar, os rumores sobre que ele começaram a diminuir o ator que os mecanismos que não seja estranho imaginação pelos moradores locais. A investigação realmente não possa ter relação com o que aconteceu em Teresmar.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
Aqui eu dei também, velho. Ah, não. Caraca, não vou ler não. Vou ler esse finalzinho. Depois veio o segundo, terceira, quarta. Procurava a salvação parte do barco do seu idoso nunca.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma.
Wow. So...
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right.
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry.
You're welcome.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. Nahida, we're here! Traveler, Paimon, how have you been? Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma. The balladeer? This sounds like some kind of code. You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me? Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
Com uma pessoa com o coração, você contou a história que foi despedaçada, espalhada através do tempo. E havia um homem chamado Sakumucho, né? Criado por um arconte elétrico, e ele era um manete que via entre as pessoas. Após serem desse evento de transformar, Sakumucho acreditava que havia sido traído entre 3 vezes e deixou Nazuma para vagar pelo mundo e além. Só que aí tem um ciclo, né? E o ciclo é esse. A deusa não vai lembrar do que aconteceu da batalha? O que colocou pra... Ou só colocou como salvou ela dos caras lá que estudiosos, né? Podia contar essa parte aí, né? É porque assim... Porque a história contradiz, né? Em vez de colocar assim um gancho, né? Mas eu fui salvo por você me salvou pelos que os caras estavam fazendo experimento em mim, o doutor também estava fazendo experimento, e tirar o Sakumucho naquele momento ali, não colocasse ele, entendeu? Uhum. Nós lutamos com ele, nós lutamos com o doutor em vez do Sakumucho, entendeu? Uhum. E se a confiança dos humanos apenas odiavam deuses, e ele guardou, arrancou por anos enquanto fortalecia. Então ele retornou em Azul para ter uma sua vingança, e ele tentou uma em vão e se tornou um divino com gnose e acabou perdendo tudo. E finalmente ele entrou e descobriu a verdade sobre a traição, sabendo que agora que toda a sua vida foi feita em mentiras, ele fez impensável em uma tentativa de reverter o seu destino trágico.
That's quite a story.
Isso é uma tremenda história.
So, this
Então,
puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself in Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
Que ele pudesse mudar seu passado.
How was he even able to do that? As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it.
Admito que me lembro um pouco diretamente. Então eu lembro um pouco. Eu não me lembro de encontrar ninguém dentro da máquina após derrotarmos. Aí ó. Aqui ela fala aqui. Então eu me lembro de encontrar ninguém dentro da máquina após derrotarmos. Quer dizer, nós estávamos brigando com uma máquina vazia, tipo isso.
Nevertheless, it does make sense.
No
If
entanto,
someone were to
faz mesmo
successfully
sentido
erase
se
themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
Cagado. Amor. Então a porra de mosquito aqui.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because... Well, yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The Traveler comes from a world beyond Teyvat. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was,
Mas
only you remember
deixa eu
that.
ter uns pagados aqui que tem um mosquito aqui rodando aqui, né? Fiz uma putinha. Nós era a mesa afinal de contas. Ah, peguei você, filho de uma... Tá morto. Tudo pode se acertar na hora resolvendo isso uma vez, toda vez. Eu ainda nem devia perguntar.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
Apenas me sinto vazio. Ele escolheu uma opção tão radical e mesmo assim.
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself. even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in... It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like...
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the ballad?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the...
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul, but Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. The now erased life of the ballad. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure.
Ah, agora eu vi a raposa ali. Tem uma raposa ali, abraçada com o coração ali. Dá pra entender o desenho, não? Não dá pra entender ali o desenho, não, mas agora eu fui ver a raposa agora. Tem uma raposa aqui e o bicho aqui se carregando o coração. Entendeu?
The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing.
Encontrou outra pessoa. O passarinho
The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after.
Ele faleceu logo
After
a
burying the
seguida.
bird,
Após
the kitten left the mountain for good.
Deixou a montanha para sempre. Os dois prometeram que passariam sua vida inteira juntos, mas o passarinho não tinha muito mais tempo de vida e ele faleceu logo em seguida. Que eu acho que morreu por uma doença, né? O outro. Entendeu?
Ainda tem mais ainda.
Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly,
Passou a noite
gnashing its
vagando
teeth at the
pelo
moon.
seu rumo, os seus dentes para a sua lua.
How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Acabou. História.
Solved it! I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and this memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person, Paimon, has no memory of him at all.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conry, we still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
Ainda não sabemos como a mudança afetará os alto escalão dos Fatures, mas provavelmente eles nem lembrarão do seu próprio mensageiro. Eu nunca tive essa sensação antes. É como se a vida fosse isso. Como uma pena.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, But the question still troubles us, so the answer is not everything. When you give someone the truth, you give them it to others looking on. This may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can...
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk?
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
Vou sair pra fora de novo.
It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Não conheço tu, cara. Sinto muito, não conheço tu. Ah, bom, você passou a mão. É bugado, daí. Consegui.
Não, desce direto.
Não, descer direto não, subir.
Vai, ou você vai cair lá embaixo.
Não quer cair lá embaixo não, quer subir.
Ou você já vai cair lá. Ué, essa porta é bugada?
Tá bugado. Ai.
Meu filho, desce, é pra descer.
E pra onde eu vou? Pra cá. Não! Ah, caiu agora. Sai do bug. Deu uma caminhada. Quando eu acabei de ler, não tem funcionar.
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat. What is it? Have you figured it all out?